Make sure the mic is on, so because we do record this for posterity.
Okay.
And please state your name and address, if you would, as you go through this, so we can keep our record on.
Do something, is it on? Not very technologically savvy, sorry.
Thank you, ma'am.
Appreciate it. I'm Dr. Mary Kiesler. I'm at Lexington, South Carolina, 607 Charles Court is my home. I'm Dr. Mary Kiesler, as I stated. I practiced veterinary medicine for the past 31 years. First part of my career, I practiced in Washington, D.C., where I served on the board of medical examiners for the District of Columbia and acted as volunteer consul for the Washington Humane Society. I spent the last 20 years in a small animal practice at Cherokee Trail Veterinary Hospital in Lexington. I'm a member and past officer of the Greater Columbia Area Veterinarians, and I'm president of the South Carolina Association of Veterinarians. I also assist with the medical care of the feral cats at the Fusty Island Feral Cat Rescue. I'm here today to express my support of Bill 687. First, I want to start by thanking all the senators for being here, and especially Senator Campbell. Thank you so much for introducing this important bill. I also want to thank each of you for the time you spent this fall traveling the state to listen to all the constituents about this very important matter. We found these discussions enlightening, and these dialogues helped us to shape a proposal that can meet the needs of both the shelters and the veterinarians, while at the same time provide needed regulatory oversight for all organizations providing veterinary medical services. As we've stated, there have been many misunderstandings concerning the need for this bill. It would be a lot easier to do nothing and hope that everything's okay. However, SCAV must speak out when a situation involves the medical care of animals, both constituent-owned and shelter-owned. This bill is needed to update the law to reflect the tremendous and unanticipated growth of shelters. Shelters no longer only provide medical care for their own animals, but they are now providing medical care services for the public as well. Quality of care varies greatly at the shelters around the state, and some safeguards must be put into place. Many shelters are under veterinary supervision and do a good job caring for their patients and serving the public needs, but some do not. The current law states that the activity of shelter owners is not regulated by LLR and the Veterinary Board. I have personally seen tragic consequences when a patient was improperly treated medically by a well-meaning but non-veterinarian employee from a shelter. Compounding this tragedy, the owner was given the news that no recourse could be taken because the veterinarian was not at that shelter and no action could be taken. This is not the only example of misconduct. I've had clients bring in Ziploc bags of medication with no label that they received from a shelter employee. I've seen patients where the owner was advised by the shelter employee that the pet was vaccinated against leptospirosis, a disease that is contagious to people, and they were not. I've also seen young puppies and kittens presented that had been vaccinated at shelter without a veterinarian, and they were never advised to deworm their pets for roundworms and hookworms, or even check a stool sample. Roundworm and hookworms are extremely common in this area in young animals, and roundworm infection can cause blindness. There are important public health risks that are not being addressed, and current South Carolina law allows this to happen. As I stated previously, there are many misconceptions about this bill. 687 allows the shelters to provide all medical care of any animal owned by the shelters, as well as the ones that they foster. It will also not affect their ability to spay and neuter, provide all vaccinations, microchip, parasite test, and cell parasite prevention for anyone. It specifically guarantees the right of low-income clients to use any services that shelter offers. Several days ago on Channel 2 in Charleston, quoted a veterinarian from the Charleston Humane Society. She said she objected to the bill because she would not be able to treat a skin infection when she was spaying a dog. 687 specifically protects the right of the shelter to provide sterilization and any procedure deemed necessary by the attending veterinarian at the time of sterilization. I hope that everyone, like you said, Senator Campbell, will read the entire bill so that South Carolina can follow the April 6th decision in Idaho and reach the same agreement that will set an important framework and precedent for the future all across our state. Nonprofit groups are allowed very generous tax advantages and receive donations almost through, yes sir, last paragraph. Lower price medication and equipment, and for excellent reasons. They spay and neuter pets for general public and take care of strays. Private veterinarians and their technicians are medically trained individuals that also serve the public. Not only do they care for their animals, they often are the first line of defense against zoonotic diseases such as, I won't go into those. They pay income taxes, property taxes, and do not enjoy any of the discounts, such as $1 a year land lease or deeply discounted drugs. Private veterinarians cannot compete against a nonprofit organization across the street offering the same service. Thank you today. We cannot delay this important decision. It is our responsibility to protect the welfare of our animals, the health and welfare of our public, and continue to ensure that we have a strong private veterinary community as well as public. Thank you.